Before she knew what was happening, they dragged her, holding her down as they forced maggots into her mouth. "If you ever stop eating them," Amaka hissed, "you will die." In the heart of the village of Umueri, nestled amidst hills and flowing rivers, lived a humble farmer named Obina. He was known for his gentle nature and unyielding love for his family. His wife, Ada, was the light of his life, and together they looked forward to welcoming their first child. However, fate had a cruel twist in store for them. During childbirth, Ada's life was claimed, leaving Obina to raise their newborn daughter, Nneka, alone. Despite his grief, Obina dedicated himself to raising Nneka with all the love and care he could muster. He rejected advances from other women, choosing to honor Ada's memory by focusing solely on their daughter. As Nneka grew, she became the apple of her father's eyes. She was bright, cheerful, and full of life. Obina worked tirelessly on his farm to provide for her, ensuring she had everything she needed. Nneka excelled in her studies and was accepted eventually into the prestigious village university, a place of great honor. However, as Nneka navigated her new environment, she encountered influences that threatened to lead her astray. Among her new friends was a girl named Amaka, the daughter of one of the wealthiest families in Umueri. Amaka was charismatic, fashionable, and seemed to have everything Nneka ever desired. Amaka's influence began to change Nneka. She started to compare herself to Amaka, feeling inferior because she did not have the same expensive clothes, jewelry, or lifestyle. Consumed by envy, Nneka decided to start stealing from her father to buy luxurious items, hoping to keep up with Amaka and her friends. Obina noticed the changes in his daughter, but was unsure on how to address the situation. He prayed for guidance, hoping that Nneka would come to her senses. Meanwhile, Nneka's behavior continued to spiral out of control. She became distant and secretive, hiding her new purchases and avoiding her father's concerned gaze. One weekend, Amaka invited Nneka to a sleepover at her mansion. She told her father, and her father said, "My daughter, do you have to go? Why don't you sit here at home and take care of your father?" She insisted that she had to go and spend the weekend with her friends. Obina, who could do little or nothing about it, told her to go, but that she should be very careful and come back as soon as possible. Nneka, very excited and nervous, packed a small bag, eager to fit into Amaka's wealthy friends. That night, amidst laughter and luxury, Nneka discovered a dark secret. While she was sleeping in the middle of the night, she heard sounds and voices downstairs. She awoke quietly in the middle of the night to find Amaka and her friends gathered around a bowl filled with live maggots. Horrified and shocked, she watched as they ate the maggots, chanting strange incantations. She hoped and prayed that none of them noticed her as she quietly walked back to her room. She made up her mind that as early as 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, she was going to leave their mansion. The next day, Amaka and her friends confronted Nneka. They had seen her. They crowded her and told her that these maggots were used for rituals to maintain their youth, beauty, and to attract wealthy suitors. Nneka was so shocked and could not believe her ears. She tried to play it cool by telling them that it was totally fine and that they would still be friends, but she needed to leave as soon as possible to take care of her sick father. Before she knew what was happening, they dragged her, holding her down as they forced maggots into her mouth. "If you ever stop eating them," Amaka hissed, "you will die." Nneka was trapped. She returned home, her spirits broken and her soul tainted by the dark ritual. She continued stealing from her father, now not for luxuries, but to sustain the horrific ritual forced upon her. Obina, sensing something was deeply wrong, confronted Nneka one evening. She broke down, confessing everything through tears and sobs. Obina was horrified but resolute. He held Nneka's hands tightly, promising to save her from this nightmare. Nneka began to fall sick every time she tried to stop eating the worms. Eventually, together they sought the help of the village's wise elder, Wokoma. He was known for his deep knowledge of ancient traditions and mystical wisdom. After hearing their story, Wokoma agreed to help, but warned that it would not be so easy. Wokoma prepared a purification ritual, invoking the spirits of their ancestors and the protective deities of the village. For 7 nights, Nneka underwent the ritual, her body and soul cleansed by sacred herbs, chants, and the light of the full moon. Each night, she faced excruciating pain as the dark magic was expelled from her system. On the 7th night, as the ritual reached its climax, Nneka lay in the center of the village shrine, surrounded by the elders and villagers who chanted prayers of protection. Wokoma, with his deep voice resonating through the night, called upon the spirits to free Nneka from the curse. "Nneka, you must focus," Wokoma instructed. "Feel the light within you, the love of your father and the strength of your ancestors." Nneka, trembling and weak, closed her eyes. She envisioned her father's face, his unwavering love and dedication. She felt the presence of her mother guiding her from the beyond. A warm light began to grow within her, pushing against the darkness. In no time, the last of the dark magic was expelled from Nneka's body. She collapsed, exhausted but free. Obina rushed to her side, tears of relief streaming down his face. "Nneka, my brave child," he whispered. "You have faced great evil and emerged victorious." Wokoma approached them, his expression serious but compassionate. "Nneka, you have been cleansed, but the memory of this ordeal will linger. You must leave the village. Go to the city and start afresh. There, you can find new opportunities and escape the shadows that remain here." Nneka, though weak, nodded and turned to her father. "I will go, Papa. I will make you proud and honor the memory of Mama." Obina, though his heart ached at the thought of her departure, knew it was the right decision. "The city will be a new beginning for you, Nneka. Remember the lessons you have learned and stay true to yourself." In the days that followed, Nneka prepared for her journey. The villagers gathered to bid her farewell, offering gifts and blessings. But before she left, Nneka felt a sense of duty to report Amaka and her friends to the village elders. She knew that without intervention, other girls might fall victim to the same dark magic. Nneka and Obina went to the council of elders, where she recounted her harrowing experiences. The elders listened intently, their faces growing stern with each revelation. "We must act swiftly," said Elder Chibueze, the head of the council. "Such evil cannot be allowed to fester in our village." The elders convened a village meeting, summoning Amaka and her friends. Under the scrutiny of the entire village, they were tried for their dark practices. Nneka stood before them, her voice strong despite her fears. "You have deceived us all," she said, looking directly at Amaka. "Your actions have brought nothing but darkness and pain. You must be held accountable." Amaka and her friends were found guilty. The elders decreed that they may be banished from the village and sent into the forest. where they would have to survive on their own. As they were led away, Amaka glared at Nneka. "You may have won this time," she hissed, "but we will never forget you." Nneka stood firm, "And I will never forgive you for what you did." In the days that followed, Nneka heard rumors about Amaka and her friends, that they were struggling to survive in the forest. Unable to keep up with eating the live maggots, they were unable to sustain themselves. The rituals they had depended on had consumed them, and they met their end, unable to escape the consequences of their actions. With the village safe and the dark influence eradicated, Nneka prepared to leave for the city. The villagers gathered once more to bid her farewell, offering gifts and their blessings. As she stood at the edge of the village, ready to embark on her new life, she turned to her father. "I will never forget you, Papa," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "Your love and your strength have brought me through the darkest times." Obina embraced her tightly. "Go with the blessings of our ancestors, Nneka. May you find happiness and success in the city." With a final wave, Nneka set off towards the city, her heart filled with hope and determination. She knew the road ahead would not be easy, but she was ready to face whatever challenges came her way. The bond between her and her father remained unbreakable, a testament to the enduring power of love and resilience. And so, Nneka's journey continued, carrying with her the lessons of her past and the promise of a brighter future. In the heart of Umueri, Obina watched her disappear into the horizon, proud of the woman she had become and hopeful for the life she would build. The story of Nneka's courage and strength became a legend in their village, a reminder of the power of family, love, and the unyielding spirit of those who chose the path of light. Nneka learned that true strength lies in staying true to oneself and one's values, regardless of external pressures. She realized that material possessions and superficial beauty are fleeting, while the love of family and inner integrity are the true treasures of life. Through her journey, she understood the importance of resilience, honesty, and the courage to face one's fears, emerging stronger and wiser from her trials.